We're living a life, now the kingdom life, experiencing you. Living a life, now the kingdom life, experiencing you. I wanna meet you there, yeah. I wanna see you there, yeah. The kingdom life, experiencing you.
Thankfulness can be hard to come by. Circumstances, brokenness, frustration, all get in the way. It can be difficult to see God through the fog. You want to stand firm, knowing God is in control. But you look around and you see chaos. How do you give thanks in such a moment? The truth is, life isn't easy. There are challenges, there's pain, there's heartache. Even though our landscape may change, we serve a God who never changes. When we're in our darkest moment, God promised to never leave us or forsake us. When our faith is shaken to its core, our God remains faithful. The world will ebb and flow, this is certain. But when we run with endurance the race set before us, and we fix our eyes on Jesus, we find thanksgiving.
Hey, what's going on, family? God bless you and welcome to Wednesday night service. I am excited that you're here. I'm elated, I'm excited. I'm glad you're in the house. Welcome to Kingdom Life, to all of our members. I'm glad we're here. We're back on Wednesday nights. Yes, we're back. I got a word for you tonight and I'm excited to kick it with you. So welcome, I'm glad you're here. To all of my guests, first time guests, returning guests, thank you for being here. Welcome to the Kingdom Life Ministries virtual campus. Man, we are making adaptations and adjustments. We're eagles. We don't make excuses. We make adjustments. Yes, this painful and pitiful pandemic is moving and impacting all of us, but we make adjustments. Thank God for technology that we're able to bring the word right to you where you are. So if you would, do me a big old favor right now. Go ahead and comment down below in that section. Let me know that you're here. Tell me, say, Pastor, I'm here. If you're watching from another city, from another area, rep your city down below in the comment section. And I'm just glad that we're in the house. So welcome again. God bless you. Let's make it do what it do. Let's make it do what it do. Let's get ready to dive in. What a great Wednesday night, isn't it? It's a great time for us to be alive. It's a great time to know the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. So much going on. And I'm just glad that we're here. Let's rock and roll. I got a word for you tonight. We're in our series entitled Reset. Reset. Somebody do me a favor in the comment section. Just type reset. Reset. Maybe everything that's going on right now, maybe everything that's happening in the world and in your life, maybe God is pushing you, pushing us in a place to take a moment to reset. Let's get to the text. Let's do it. Let's go over to Ecclesiastes, if you would. The 9th chapter and the 11th verse. Ecclesiastes 9 and 11. I'm going to start in the God's Word translation. Ecclesiastes 9 and 11. The text says, I saw something else under the sun. The race isn't won by fast runners or the battle by heroes. Wise people don't necessarily have food. Intelligent people don't necessarily have riches. And skilled people don't necessarily have receive special treatment. Watch this. But time and unpredictable events overtake all of them. But time and unpredictable events overtake all of them. Okay, let me go to the Message Bible because I want to read it out that version too. Watch this, follow with me. I took another walk around the neighborhood and realized that on this earth as it is, the race is not always to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor satisfaction to the wise, nor riches to the smart, nor grace to the learned. Come here, watch this B clause. Sooner or later, bad luck hits us all. Can you do me a big favor and in that comment section, type below, some stuff happens. Some stuff happens. Some stuff happens. Some stuff happens. Welcome to, again, a Wednesday night. We're in our new series entitled Reset. I just introed the series on Sunday. Boy, we got a lot to talk about over these next several weeks. I'm convinced and persuaded that if there's ever a time for reset, it's right now. We got so many things that's happening around us, that's pushing us, prodding us, poking us into a present state of reset. And I believe that God is causing us to come to this place to maybe turn back to Him. Yeah, to get back to a place where we're seeking God again. And so maybe everything that's happening is an opportunity for us to push the reset button. Wouldn't it be nice in life if we could have a redo, a re-over, to hit the reset button, to start over again? What I love about God, what I love about our walk, what I love about Christianity and being a kingdom citizen is we get that opportunity with our Savior every single day. The text reminds us, God shows us that His mercies are renewed morning by morning. We get this opportunity to come back to Him and to start over and to do over. One of the many and great things about what we do and about Christianity, about being kingdom, is that God gives us an opportunity to come to Him, ask for forgiveness, and gives us a redo. Oh, I love it. In this series, Reset, we got a lot to talk about. Let's just walk through. I want to walk through kind of what reset is, because I really believe that God is causing us in 2020 to have a reset. I told you Sunday, let me remind you, we're rolling with our pastor in this series entitled Reset, and it's an opportunity for all of us to reset. 2020 is causing us to get to a place we have to look at things again. The R in reset. Let's walk through it quickly. I'm going to talk through this over these next several weeks. What is reset? What is this acronym? So the R, maybe God is causing us to reimagine, right? I believe in this season that God is going to be pushing us in 2020 to reimagine, to reintroduce, to redo, to reinvent. You know, some of you online right now, you're business owners. Some of you online, you're employed by someone else. Some of you online, you all know, listen, we are reimagining church. Right now, you're watching me online. Normally, we'll be right here in person. But in this series of reset, in this time of reset, I believe one of the things that we have to do is reimagine, to reinvent, to redo, to look at things again, to revamp. If you're a business owner, you're having to reimagine how you're working in this season. And so the R in reset is to reimagine, to reintroduce. The E, let's talk about the E. The E is for what is essential and what do you need to eliminate? Oh my God, I can't wait till we walk through this series together, because there are some things in life that you have to look at now as a result of this series, this time and season of reset. Some things you got to look at, well, what is essential? What things do I now need to eliminate? This painful pandemic has taught us a lot of things, that some things just aren't essential. Think about it. Before now, many of us was going to work every single day and doing what you do, going to the office. Now, we are working remotely, right? And all those buildings, all those offices, the places that we all occupy, there are some strategic decisions that businesses are having to make to say, well, what is essential? What do we got to eliminate? This pandemic has taught us and is teaching us a lot. Because here's the thing, everything you say yes to in your life, that means you say no to something else. You got to look at what is it in your life that you need to eliminate personally, professionally. What is that you need to eliminate? For me and my household, we have to be time, as with you, I'm sure as well, is important. So whenever I say yes to something, I'm saying no to something else. And so I have to be mindful. You have to be mindful and look at what is essential in your life. What do you need to add? What do you need to take away? What's important? All right, the S. Let's talk about the S. What is the S standing for? The S is for strategy. I believe in this season that God is going to give us and is giving us new strategy. New strategy. Do me a favor, type in the comment section, new strategy. I believe that word is for somebody. The old strategy has to change. There's some things we did pre-pandemic that doesn't work now, right? If you know that going into the pandemic, if you weren't prepared to go online as a church and didn't have online giving, you found yourself in a place just trying to figure it out in a real quick space. But I thank God that God has allowed us to be in a place where we were prepared, and we also, like everybody else, had to and continue to adapt. The old strategy was good for that time, but there's a new day, right? And I thank God for all of the people that have gone before all of us, because they have shown us the way. We get to stand on their shoulders. But the reality now in 2020, in this painful and pitiful pandemic that we're in, there's some strategies that we did back when that don't work now, because we're in a new season. So the message that we preach never changed, but the method and how we deliver must continue to adapt to the times. And so strategy, God is giving us new strategy. I can't wait to get to that when we're going to talk about strategy. All right, so the E, what does the E in reset stand for? The E stands to evolve or to execute. All right, so many people, when this pandemic hit, they maybe weren't prepared, right? And we're all still adjusting, find ourselves continually to adjust. And if you're going to survive and thrive, we have to adjust. But that requires us to evolve. That requires us not to be stuck, right? Not to be stagnant. We have to evolve, right? And then we have to execute. It can't just be what we talk about. We have to actually perform. And so it's important that we evolve, that we execute. And here we are online, evolving and doing what we got to do. And T, finally, the T in reset stands for team. Team. Who's on your team? This pandemic teaches us a lot. That what does our team need to look like? Who on a team that's not a team player? It's about making sure you have the right people on your team. All right, so that's the acronym in reset. We're going to walk through that over these next several weeks. I'll remind you of what those mean as we walk through this every week. But man, I got a word for you tonight. I can't wait to kick it with you over these next several weeks in our new series entitled Reset. Ecclesiastes 9 and 11. I told you that as we read that text together, something interesting happened in that text. Let's look at it again in the God's Word translation. It says that I saw something else under the sun. The race isn't won by fast runners or the battle by heroes. Wise people don't necessarily have food. Intelligent people don't necessarily have riches. And skilled people don't necessarily receive special treatment. But time and unpredictable events overtake all of them. But time and unpredictable events overtake all of them. Listen, time and chance happens to all of us. Time and chance, time and unpredictable events. Notice that purposeful inflection as we were working that B clause of that text. Time, chance, unpredictable events come upon all of us. The Message Bible says in this B clause, bad luck hits us all. You know, it's important that when times of crises comes and when challenges come, and when things come that we don't understand, oftentimes, y'all know, we find ourselves trying to theologize our way through all events of life, through tough events, through good events. Oftentimes, we're trying to put some type of theology to it. And we find ourselves, for one reason or another, putting everything maybe in a God category or a devil category, to say this idea that either the things that are coming against me is a curse, or the things that are coming at me or is a blessing, we're trying to put it in a blessing or a curse category. Either the devil's trying to kill me or God's trying to bless me. We're trying to find categories. And we find ourselves trying to theologize our way through when things happen we don't understand. Ecclesiastes said, but time and unpredictable events, bad luck, the Message Bible says, hits us all. How do we theologize our way through some of this stuff? How do we theologize our way through some things that we just don't understand, some things that we can reconcile, some things that we can't figure out? Because sometimes we're trying to theologize it all. I know this might step on a couple of toes, but and this might get to some people where they're this idea of Calvinism, right? Where everything is predestined to happen, right? Where no matter what happens, there's a predestined reason why some things happen. Yes, God has some things preordained, pre-planned, but this message, this scripture reminds us that unpredictable events happen to us all. Some things happen. Some stuff happens that we don't always understand. And sometimes when we're talking about Calvinism, as it is in America, that this idea that if you're looking at kind of the pressing issues, this idea of human responsibility versus divine sovereignty related to the fall and the redemption of mankind. And then if we keep going, we get to hyper-Calvinism. But the idea is when you get done with all of that stuff, what I'm trying to say is this. Some stuff happens. Some stuff happens. Some stuff happens. I can't theologize everything. I don't understand everything. I can't reconcile everything. And yes, some things are preordained. Yes, some things are predestined. Yes, God is in control. But there's some stuff that God allows. Some stuff just happens. Do me a favor, just comment in the section and put stuff happens. Only stuff. Just put stuff happens. Stuff happens. Stuff happens. So, theodicy. I've been talking to you a little bit about that. I'm going to touch on that. But stuff happens, though. I mean, because you can be doing the best that you can, trying to do as right as you know how, and still wrong stuff can come to you. Stuff happens. You can be raising your children the right way and trying to make sure that they live upright and do the right things, but still stuff happens. One of them can bust a move and do something that you never taught them, and some stuff happens. You can be living life the best way you know how, trying to do everything right, and stuff happens. Raise your children up in church and try to do the right thing, and some of them don't want anything to do with church. They're on the sideline watching, and then you can have a parent that never took their children to church, and their child comes to church and has fallen in love with Jesus. And you got on one end, the family that says, I tried to raise them right, and they're not in church. And on the other end, someone that never took their children to church, and they're in love with Jesus. And you're trying to reconcile all of that. It can be difficult. Some stuff happens. We don't always get to dictate everything that happens in this life. Say that again, Pastor. That was important. As much as we like to be in control, as much as we like our power, as much as we like to have authority, as much as we like to know what's going to happen next, y'all know we put stuff in the GPS because we want to know, how do I get to A and B, and what kind of turns, dips, and detours I'm going to have between traveling from point A to point B. We want to know everything. We want to dictate and determine and be in control. But in this life, we don't always get to dictate everything that happens to us in this life. Sometimes, come here, look at me. Sometimes good stuff happens to bad people. Oh, this is good. Sometimes good stuff happens to bad people, and sometimes, come here, bad stuff happens to good people. And so it's this life that we live in. Yes, God is orchestrating everything. Yes, God is in control of our lives. But yes, at the same time, there's some stuff that God maybe allows. There's some stuff that happens. And when stuff happens that we don't understand, stuff that happens that we can reconcile, stuff that happens that just don't seem right to us, when we're out of control and we can't determine or dictate the direction, when that happens, it doesn't mean that God doesn't love us. Yeah. So that's why it's so important, come here, that you just do your best to be on the right side of God, because life can happen to all of us, right? Things can be going well one minute, and then the next minute something can happen. Life can happen to all of us, so it's just good to live right, to not think I have until tomorrow to get it right, to not wait until next week to turn it around, to understand that I should live right now, because I don't know what tomorrow holds. And if I'm talking to you that's online, and you got an unction, a pushing inside of you saying, like, I got to make some changes, keep listening, because this message is just for you. It's just good to live right to the best of your ability, because living right and doing right can make all the difference if tragedy comes your way, right? And sometimes tragic things happen to good people. Sometimes things happen that we don't understand. And even though you love God, sometimes something bad can happen that you don't understand. And it doesn't mean, come here, that God doesn't love you. It doesn't mean you love God any less. It doesn't mean that love is absent from the situation. No, it just means, as Ecclesiastes 9:11 says, that unpredictable events overtake us all. That sometimes some stuff just happens. And God is allowing some stuff just to happen. See, here's the reality. Come here. We live in a fallen world. We do. Mankind, if you go back to the beginning in Genesis, you see mankind, we chose to not follow what God told us. We chose to eat of that fruit that God said was forbidden. We chose to do that. As a result, sin. As a result, the devil came in, and now we lost that connection in that way with God, because we decided to be disobedient. Thank God for Jesus. But yet and still, we live in a fallen world. Paul says something, the God, small g, the God of this world, right? That's a small g, the God of this world, right? And so here it is, Satan is going to and fro looking for whom he may devour. We live in a fallen world. There are things that we've done, things that we do, that so many times we're trying to theologize, and we want to blame God for things that we've done. God told us not to eat of the fruit. That's what he told Adam. That's what he told Eve. But we did it anyway. Well, whose fault was that? That was man's fault. There are things that we're doing in this present day and this present age, and there's some stuff that's happening, and it's on us. And so many times we want to blame God. Theodicy. I told you about theodicy. We've talked about theodicy a little bit earlier in the beginning of this pandemic. But sometimes stuff happens, right? Coronavirus, stuff happens. Pandemic, stuff happens. The economy crashing, stuff happens. Theodicy. How do we define God and how he involves himself with evil? Like when bad stuff is happening to good people, where is God, we might ask ourselves, right? How do we define theodicy, this idea? How does God involve himself with evil? Where is God when bad things happen? When babies are dying, some people are asking, where is God in the midst of all the innocent people? Thousands and thousands of people have died from coronavirus, and millions across the world have been impacted and infected. When a brother gets shot in the back 7 times, some people are asking, where is God? When a knee is on the neck to the point of someone dying, somebody might be asking, where is God? When a house burns up and babies are in it and family dies inside of the house, somebody might be asking, where's God? In the middle of this painful pandemic where people are losing their jobs, don't know how to pay their bills, people are losing their homes, and people are dying and getting sick, where's God? We just saw the Black Panther, we know, Chadwick Boswick, amazing brother, died at 43 of colon cancer. And some people might ask, man, what a good brother. Why does bad things happen to this good brother? Why does some things happen? Theodicy. How does God involve himself in evil? How do you see yourself? How do you see God in the midst of evil? How do you theologize in the midst of that? Listen, this is good. Isaiah 55:8. Come here, come close. Isaiah 55:8. There's some stuff that when life happens to us, there's some stuff that sometimes it's just difficult to understand, it's difficult to reconcile. Isaiah 55:8 says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts. Yeah, this is good. neither are my ways your ways, declares the Lord. For as the high heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways. And, come here, my thoughts than your thoughts. God's ways, his thoughts, his plans are bigger, higher, greater than ours. Come here. How do I explain some of this? Why does some of this stuff happen? I don't understand it all either. There's some stuff God reveals to us, some stuff he doesn't. Some stuff that happens that we don't understand. But in the midst of it all, come here, we got to understand what God says here, what he says here in Isaiah 55:8, that my thoughts are higher, my ways are higher, my plans are greater. And so I love how our pastor, thank you, Dr. Vernon, what he says. He says, you got to give God room to be God. That's so good. You got to give God room to be God. We don't oftentimes want to give God room to be God, right? Because we want to be in control. We want to determine. We want to dictate, and we want to know everything. And when stuff happens that we don't understand, we want answers. We want reconciliation. We need to know why is some stuff happening. But God doesn't always tell us why. God doesn't always explain it to us. God doesn't always tell us everything that happens all the time. Some stuff happens, and sometimes we can't always understand it. And sometimes I go to God and say, God, I need answers. We got to give God room to be God. Say, God, your plans are higher. I don't understand it, but I trust you. God, your ways are higher. I understand it, but I trust you. God, I don't understand everything that's happening, but since you're on the throne and you're allowing it, it's got to be for my good. Woo. Go ahead and type real quick. All things are working together for my good. All things are working together for my good. If God is allowing some stuff, it's for my good. I might not understand it, but it is for my good. But God is God all by himself. That's why he's God and we're not. Come here. Come here. See, God doesn't need to explain everything to us. Say that again, Pastor. God does not need to explain everything to us. God doesn't owe us an answer for everything. Sometimes we can be so arrogant with God, we can be so conceited, and we think, God, you owe us an answer for everything. And sometimes God just says, no, I don't need to give you an answer. I'm God, you're not. I'm sovereign, meaning I'm God all by myself. And I don't need your help, I don't need your assistance. I'm God. And sometimes we go to God and we want God to give us answers. Sometimes God just says, listen, some stuff happens. Sometimes we can be so arrogant coming to God, thinking that God's supposed to give us answers for everything. We don't get to dictate divinity. Yeah, we don't get to dictate God's divinity, God's sovereignty. God can do what he wants to do, when he wants to do, because he is, in fact, God. Some stuff happens. If you're just tuning in, God bless you. I'm glad you're here. We're talking about reset. We're talking about some stuff happens. And in the season of reset that we're in, some of us are trying to theologize and figure out why is all this stuff happening. Things are being shut down. Businesses are shuttering. Churches are closing its doors and things are happening. Why is some stuff happening? Thank you for being here. God doesn't always owe us an answer. We don't get to dictate divinity. My kids, sometimes when they want something, they have a way of doing all their chores and making sure everything happens just like it's supposed to. And then when they get done, they might give me a call, hit me up and say, hey, I did my chores, I took care of everything you said. Can I go over here? Can I get this? Can you buy me this? And sometimes when they're asking to go somewhere after they've completed their chores and they call me, I have an option to say yes or no, right? Come here. And the reason that they would call me, hit me up, or we talk through it is because they know that the answer could be yes or no. If, in fact, the answer, if they thought it was yes, they could just assume it's yes and just do it. But because they know that it might be no, they call, we talk through it, we work through it because it might be yes or no. Because I might not feel like them going right now, not because they did something wrong. Come here. They can do their chores, they can take care of business, be obedient, do all the right things, and I still might say no. And me saying no don't mean I don't love them. Me saying no don't mean they haven't been good children. Me saying no might just mean that I'm just not feeling it right now. Something just don't feel right in my spirit. Maybe I'm saying no because I don't want to make an answer like that on the fly. There could be a lot of reasons why I say no, but it doesn't mean I don't love them. It doesn't mean that they haven't done what they're supposed to do, but it just might mean the answer is no. Y'all know how it is growing up. Look, growing up, our parents said stuff that we didn't like. We wanted to go somewhere. We wanted to do something. They told us no. You might not have the courage to say it out loud, but in your mind, you were saying, man, I can't never do nothing, right? In your mind, you were saying a whole bunch of stuff, but they said no. You might not have agreed with it. You may not even understood it, and you might not have understood why they said no, but the answer was no. Don't mean they didn't love you. Don't mean that we don't love our kids when we say no to them. Come here. See, sometimes when we go to God and ask God for something, guess what God says to us? Sometimes the answer is just no. And then we go to God and ask God why. God says, because I'm God. Yeah, that's why. Because I know the beginning from the end. Yeah. Because I'm Alpha and Omega. Yeah, because I am God all by myself. And right now the answer is no. This is good. Is that good? The answer is no. Sometimes God says no. And I tell my children, you can get your feelings hurt sometimes. Your expectations disappointed at times when we expect a yes and you don't give room for no. Yeah, you got to give room for no. And so when we go to God and we talk to God and we say, God, can I do this? God, what about this? And sometimes God says no. We may not always like what God says, but if there's no, the answer is no. Because watch this. God sees our beginning and our end. Yeah. God knows what's coming down the road. God knows what's about to happen next. And because God can see what's about to happen next, sometimes what God says no today is protecting us from what might happen tomorrow. Oh, that is good. Sometimes the no today is protecting us for what could happen tomorrow. There's stuff in front of us that might be coming that God says, you don't see it now, but I see what's coming next. You don't understand it, but I know what's about to happen next. And because I know the beginning from the end, because your life is planned, and I know every single step that's going to happen, the answer right now is no, because this no today is preserving you from some problems that's coming tomorrow. That's good. That is so good. I don't know about you, but a few of us in this moment right now, with that word right there, we ought to just say, wait a minute, God, I'm glad and I'm grateful that you said no to some stuff. That there's some stuff I'm glad you said no to, because at the time I didn't understand it, and at the time, if I'm honest, I didn't like it. But now that I can look back, come here, I can look back over my life and say, God, I'm glad and I'm grateful that you said no, because there's some situations that had you not said no to, some situations had I got myself involved in, it could have taken me out. But I'm glad God said no. There are some storms that I could have been in that would have overtook me, that would have taken me out. But because God said no, because he would allow me to move, because he blocked some stuff and he allowed some doors to be closed, he allowed some people to be removed from my life, he allowed some stuff to happen, because he said no, I thank God he preserved me. Come here, some brother, some sister, you was about to marry some person, you was about to spend the rest of your life with them, and in the moment you were all lovey-dovey, you thought everything was good, but God said no. Oh, I don't know about you, some of y'all should be glad right now that God said no to some stuff, because had he not said no, we would have made some serious mistakes. You're about to move. You're about to take on a new job. You're about to do something and bust a move. But God said no. You might not have liked it then, but I'm glad God said no. You ought to do me a favor right now and type in that comment section. God said no, and I'm thankful now. God said no, and I'm thankful now. God said no, and I'm thankful now. I didn't understand it then, but I'm thankful now. And I'm glad he said no to some stuff. I can hear somebody saying, listen, I was about to do this. I was about to move. I was about to start this. I was about to do that. Then Corona happened. I'm glad God said no. I was about to launch this business. Then Corona happened. And God said no. And I'm just glad that God said no. I don't know about you, but it makes me glad when I look back now. Thank you, God, for saying no to some stuff. Some stuff happens. You know, we went into 2020, I told you Sunday, came into this year, said this is going to be our year, saying this is the year 2020, I'm going to have 2020 vision. This is the year I'm going to see clearly. This is the year I'm going to see everything clearly. This is the year some stuff is going to come to fruition. Can I argue and contend something with you on this beautiful Wednesday night that it is the year that we see clearly? Well, what do you mean by that, Pastor? Walk with me, because in this year of 2020, in this year that we have so much political rhetoric, so much divisiveness, can I suggest to you that God has allowed, come here, us to see clearly about who people really are and about who politicians really are? Can I suggest to you that COVID-19 in this year of 2020, where we said we're going to see clearly now, has exposed some things? Oh, yes. It has exposed some things and allowed us to see clearly now. It has caused us to be able to see some things that we may not have seen pre-pandemic. For example, you might not even realize that you work too much, that you didn't spend enough time with your spouse, that you didn't spend enough time with your children, that you didn't pray enough, that you didn't tithe like you should, that you weren't going to church, and that you weren't handling your business like you should. But because of COVID-19, it's caused you to slow down and to reset. It's caused you to open up your eyes. And guess what else 2020 has revealed? It has revealed some more things that has allowed us to be able to see clearly. 2020 has revealed some stuff to us that we may not have seen had it not been for the stuff that's happened this year. Had God not said no to some stuff, had God not blocked some stuff, had God not intervened on some stuff, some of us know right now that we wouldn't have made it. But I thank God for 2020 because it's allowed me to see, God, I thank you for a reset. I thank you for slowing me down. I thank you for causing me to spend time with my family, to spend time with my children, to spend time with my wife, to slow down, to realize how much I was working, to get back in church, to get back focused, to read my word, to pray like I should, to start paying my tithes again. God, I thank you for resetting me because I needed a reset. And that's because of that reset. I'm glad, because some of us may not have made it had God not slowed us down. And had some of us might not have come through some stuff had God not slowed us down. Maybe 2020 didn't look like the way, it's not looking like you thought it would, but you already said in the beginning of the year, it's the year you're going to see clearly now. I contend you can see clearly now, and you do have 2020 vision on this year. This is the year you are seeing clearly, and you do have 2020 vision. And come here, because sometimes, watch this, I said this briefly on Sunday, sometimes we don't always like what we see. I injured my eye not too long ago. I had to go to the ophthalmologist, and they had to look at it and make sure everything was okay. And they had to do all these tests and all this stuff. And I didn't like how it felt, how it looked in the moment. And they were doing all their tests. And when they got done, they said, hey, look, everything looks good. And they said, look, and you got 2020 vision, 2020 vision still. And I said, thank God for that, because I wanted to make sure everything was all right. But it said, look, your eye looks good. You got 2020 vision and everything's okay. But here's the thing. In the moment, I didn't like how it felt. In the moment, I didn't like how it looked. In the moment, it hurted. In the moment, it was a problem. But they said when they looked through it all and ran all their tests, everything looked fine. Come here. I'm here to tell you, come here, in 2020, in the moment that we're in right now, you might not like everything that you see. You might not like how it feels. You might not like what you're seeing around you. But I'm so glad, just like in my situation, but in yours as well, as I come to your crib, that God has allowed you to see clearly now. You might not like what it looks like, but you can see clearly. And just because I don't like what I see, don't mean I can't see clearly. I'm glad that God has caused a reset. Yeah, allow me to slow down, allow some stuff to happen so I can see what's really going on because of this reset. Because God allowed some stuff to happen. Now I know who people really are. Now I know what people really are trying to do. Just because I don't like what I see, come here, I'm going to make it plain for you. 2020 is your year vision. Put that down. Put that down in the comment section. I can see clearly now. I can see clearly now. I might not like everything I see, but I can see clearly now. I might not like how it feels, but I can see clearly now. Because this pandemic has taught me that watch this. The pandemic isn't about who is red or who is blue. It's not about who's Republican or who is Democrat. And listen, the COVID-19 doesn't care what political side you stand on. It doesn't care if you're black or white, but all it knows is it's looking for a host. And this pandemic has taught me a lot of things, and it's caused me to slow down so I can see clearly now. Come here, this pandemic has taught me, come here, some businesses may not have made it, may not have made it through this, but you had to slow down and reinvent and re-strategize. God calls you to say, listen, I'm going to cause you to make it through it, or I might have to cause some things to shut down because you got to reset, because I got to do something bigger and greater. I might not like how it feels, but I can see clearly. I might not like what happens, but I can see clearly. I might not like what it looks like, but I can see clearly. I'm just glad that God allows some things to happen. I might not like it, but this pandemic has taught me a lot, and it has taught you, it has taught me that we need to reset. Some stuff happens. I don't always understand it, but some stuff happens. Come here, let me talk to you. Maybe God is causing you to reset now. Maybe there's some things that's happening in your life right now that God is saying, I'm allowing and have allowed some stuff to happen because you need to reset. Yeah, you don't understand it all. It don't feel good. It's difficult, but it's time for you to reset. Here, if you're online right now, I'm talking to you. I want you to do me a big favor. On the screen, we're going to put it on there for you that you can text right now. Kingdom Life JXN. If you're ready for a reset, if you're ready to give your life to Jesus, you need prayer, you want salvation, you want to join a church, you say, I'm tired of being on the sideline, I want you to text right now, because the stuff that has happened in your life is not by chance or coincidence. It's not for anything bad. It's not because God doesn't love you, but maybe God is pushing you to a place where you can now reset. Here's your opportunity. Go ahead and text right now. I want to pray for you and pray with you. God, I thank you for everybody on the line. I thank you for everybody watching right now. And God, as I lift my hands over their screen, over them now, I speak life and favor over them. And I'm praying that you cause them to be at a place where they can reset, that they can slow down and come and get back in your face and pray again and read the word again, get back in church, that this would be an opportunity for them to reset and get back in your face. God, I pray that for the person that doesn't know you as a partner of their sin, they don't know you as their Savior, I pray that you save them now in the name of Jesus. And if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus is the Lord, you can be saved. God bless you, and I believe God is going to do great things in your life. Oh my God, I pray that this word bless you in an amazing way. I'm super excited about what God is doing. You don't want to miss this series. I'm telling you, it's going to bless you extremely well. This weekend, we're going to get into the R, the reintroduce, to reimagine, to redo. There's some stuff that we got to revamp. There's some stuff we got to redo. The old thing didn't work. It don't work no more. We got to redo some stuff. We got to reimagine how we do life, how we do church, how we do work, how we do school. We got to reimagine. I got to see you here this Sunday. We start at 9:55, log in at 9:55, get here early, get your children, get your family around the screen. I promise you it's going to bless you good. Every URL, all social media pages lead to Kingdom Life Ministries this weekend. I can't wait to see you. Hey, before you log off, real quick, I need you to sow a seed though. Never eat and run. When a word blesses you, when a ministry is pouring out, never eat and run. So take a moment right now. It's on the screen. You can give by Cash App. You can send a check. We have an app. If you're watching us right now on the app, hit the Give tab in the app. But make sure you give right now. All of my members, make sure you stay. You are, and you continue to be faithful, but stay faithful in your giving. All of my guests and people that's watching us, partner with us today. Sow a seed, be a blessing to the ministry. And we pray that today's word bless you extremely well. Some stuff happens. I don't always understand it, can't theologize at all, but I trust God. His ways are higher, his thoughts are higher. I want you to trust God in this week, and I believe that you're going to have an awesome week, and I thank God for you. Thank you for tuning in. I can't wait to see you this weekend. May God richly bless you, and I'm going to talk to you this Sunday. Come ready to praise. God bless you. Talk to you soon.